What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Snack Time. My name is Ben, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a really cool open source intelligence gathering software called BBOT. I have recorded this video no less than 2 or 3 times now, and that's because every single time I do, I get to a point where I realize, oh my gosh, it does so much more than I thought it did, and now I have to learn about all that so that I can relay it to you. But I have decided that I'm going to tell you the information that I know, and I will let you do further exploring on all the vast number of features and options that the software has. Let's do this. Let's jump over to the GitHub page, and that's this right here. This is a program that we will be running on the command line. We will be using Docker, but only for to run the, I believe it's called the, was it Node J4, Neo4j. And that is a really cool UI database software that allows you to view this information really easily. So first off, let's back up and let me tell you what it is. So it is an open source intelligence gathering tool that combines a whole bunch of different things. It can spider websites. It can enumerate subdomains, and I'm talking it really enumerates subdomains amazingly. And then it can do even more than that. It can run all sorts of different utilities that you're used to, like Nmap, things like that, through its modules. I definitely want you guys to take a look at this and just realize whatever I go through, there's probably even more stuff that I have not covered just because it can do so much. And I wanted to see that it got some exposure because the developers have put a lot of time and effort into it. And honestly, if you're not using it, you should. It's going to be really a game changer if you're doing like bug bounties. Because bug bounties are a big part of it. It's finding vulnerabilities, and usually those are in the form of some crazy subdomain that someone set up that they probably long forgot about. And no one likes to play with DNS, so they just don't. All right, since we are going to be playing with the terminal, I'm going to show you how to install it. Very easy to install. We're just going to do we're going to be using pipx to install it. And let's see here, let me bring up my terminal. All right, so for this, you will need a Linux server, and whether you decide to use Docker or not, it is 100% up to you. There is a Docker way to run BBOT, but the biggest issue that I've run into is that in order for you to get the data out of the Docker, you're going to need to set up some volumes and stuff like that. And it's just a little bit too convoluted to really worry about right now. You can do it, and if you decide to do it, look at a program that's like a file manager for Docker. I have one that I use. It's basically you would just connect the volumes and it will allow you to pull in whatever information is stored on there, easily find it and download it to, from a web browser instead of navigating into your server, which, I mean, you could totally do that. I'm not going to stop you. The easiest thing for us to do for now is we're going to use a pipx and we're going to install BBOT. If you don't have pipx installed, it is really easy. You would essentially, if you're on Debian, you're going to be just doing apt install pipx. Probably a sudo in there too. We already got it, so we're good to go. Also, same thing with Python. If it needs Python, most of the time it's already going to be installed, but depending on the flavor of Linux that you're running, you may need to install that as well. Let's do this. So I'm going to do a pipx install BBOT. And notice I'm not using a sudo for this, and I'll show you why in just a second. All right. It is done installing. Lucky us. I want to go over the syntax for the commands. So if we scroll down here, we'll have the syntax. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. Whoa, too big. All right. So we got BBOT and then -t and evil domain or evilcorp.com and then P for the parameters and then subdomain-enum. So let's do that. I want to run this on snack time, and I want to show you the thing that I run into in case you run into it. I'll show you also how to fix it. So if we do bbot-t, and we're going to do snacktime.com. Actually, let's just do synhow.com. And then -p subdomain-enum. All right. And we're going to start with the asking for our sudo password. Now let's see what we get. All right, if you get this is exactly what I was talking about. I'm going to show you how to fix it. But first, I want to show as much as my screen as possible. So I'm going to make myself just a little bit smaller. All right, so for this right here, it's a very easy fix. It's basically just not able to install its dependencies. And I don't know if it's just a lack of sudo or what. I'm running this on Ubuntu 22, so it may be something to do with that. I don't know. All I know is how to fix it. So what we're going to do is we are going to link the BBOT command to the path where it really is, and also be able to run that as sudo. Because if we try to do sudo BBOT here, it's not going to work. It says command not found, and it doesn't exist in there because it's basically just a, I think it's a path to the actual file. So what I want to do is I'm going to do a link to the file where it actually is. So I'm going to do an ln, and this command will be in the description, .local/bin bbot. And I'm going to do, I think you can call this bbot as well, but I'm going to just call it bbot sudo and then -s. So this way, if I do an ls, here it is. It's actually a link to the actual file itself. So when I run sudo bbot sudo, actually, I'm sorry, gotta put that / in there, then it will run, whereas before it did not. And also if we go in and we say, all right, well, let's do sudo bbot sudo -t for synhow.com p subdomain-enum. So in a second here, it's going to say, be patient while I install some dependencies. And so it's successfully installing them now. Now, I don't know if this is a normal way for us to have to do it or not. It's not in the documentation, but I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. If I am, please let me know. When we've already gotten much farther. It's now saying, are you ready to run the scan? And you can hit enter and it will go ahead and proceed. I'm going to Control-C out of it for now. Cool. I killed dramatic Gary. Oh, sorry, Gary. Awkward. All right, so I do want to revisit the GitHub page just a little bit. And this will tell you how many subdomains it found versus all of the other competitors. And if you want to see how it works, you can click on that link and it'll describe exactly how it goes about getting so much better and numerous results. Since we are on this page, this is the official documentation page. And this is also going to be a great place for us to kind of become familiar with BBOT and all of its features. If you go to, you'll see that the -p that we used is a preset, and you can get a list of the presets here. It'll tell us the cloud-enum was this cloud-enum YAML file, which is shown right there. And you can create your own presets if you want to, that do different things. Like there's a dirbuster. So if you want to do a heavy directory bust on that, you can. There's dirbuster light and fast, IIS short names, the kitchen sink, nuclei. So if we keep scrolling down, we can spider the site as well. We can try to detect the technology that is being used on the site. So like I said, there's a lot of things in here, like a whole bunch. Let's see here. And I didn't even cover the modules. So check this out. It also has all of these modules that it uses as well. So it does all of these things. So I would encourage you to spend some time and become familiar with all of the different features that it has. Because like, look, I don't have time to cover all that. But there's a lot of great things in here that can be used, right? Some of them need APIs, some of them don't. So please do yourself a favor, check it out. What I want to do here is I want to do something really cool that you guys are totally going to dig. There is tips and tricks. Man, there's so much in this, so much. What I want to concentrate on is the output. So obviously we want to be able to ingest this data in a way that makes sense to us. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that. You can do it as a standard text file, CSV, JSON, Discord. There's something really cool that they made where you can build a Discord bot to do scans for you. I'm like, I can't make this up. And they kind of like demonstrating it right here, which is kind of cool. So if you're interested in that, definitely take a look at some of the craziness you can put together. One of the other ones I like, Elasticsearch. I love Elastic. Throwing data in there is extremely easy. You'll basically just create this YAML file, and it will be able to add it to your Elastic server. So that would be great if you're working on like a team and you want to be able to keep track of all this information. One of the ones that I found to be extremely fun, like besides all the other databases that you can use, is the Neo4j. This is kind of a really cool way to visualize the information that you're seeing. It's heavily reliant upon queries, which they give you some sample queries down here at the bottom. And if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to be able to ever figure out this, dude, use ChatGPT. It will help you through all this sort of stuff. It'll help you write queries and present that data in a really cool way. So don't feel like you have to learn it all from scratch. You don't, unless you want to. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, man. All right, next up. Let's spin this sucker up and let's do a scan so I can show you Neo4j. So first off, we're going to copy this command and to break this down, like I always like to do, this is going to run it in detached mode. The ports that we're going to be using is 7687 and 7474. We're going to be using the present working directory for our data. And we are also going to be creating a user, and our authentication is going to be Neo4j with the password is BBOT is life. And then the container name right there. So let's copy this. And let's take this over to our terminal. All right, so let's take this. I went ahead and created myself just another tab just so I don't have to sacrifice what I've been doing over there. I'm gonna make this sudo. I'm gonna make this big again so you can see. And I'm going to paste in that command. It's just asking me if I want to paste this, and I do. And let's just hit enter on this guy and type in our sudo password. And what this is going to do is it's going to download the Neo4j onto this host machine that we have here. This is assuming you have Docker installed. If you do not, there is a video for that I have. Just look for that server install video. All right, so now we have a Neo4j running. We can confirm this by doing sudo docker ps. And we see that amongst other things, we have Neo4j running right there. Cool. All right, now we need to run a scan, and we need to tell BBOT that we want our output to go to Neo4j. And that's easy to do, because if we look over here, it even gives us the command. I mean, there's very little guesswork here. It does everything except for like do it for us. All right, so let's do this. It's giving us the example of Evil Corp, and the output is going to be the Neo4j. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to paste this. I'm going to go to the front of the command. I'm also going to add that sudo. And then I want to change my domain to something other than Evil Corp. Let's do tesla.com. And that is only because I know they have an active bug bounty program, and it's just going to be normal for them to see scans like this. I will take this time to say, if you do not have permission to run a scan like this on a domain, then don't do it, because you may get in trouble. There are ways for you to run more of a lightweight scan that will use information that's kind of already out there. Let me take a break and show you that real quick. So if you look at their GitHub page, where this is one of the examples, is for passive sources only, which means it's not going to really reach out to the domain. It's going to be using data that's already out there. This is also a great time to let you know that some of these do require APIs, and you can configure that pretty easily. let's do this. I'm going to make this scan as loud as possible. I don't want to just use passive stuff, and I want my information to show up into the Neo4j. So I'm going to hit enter on this, and I'm going to make sure that I fix my command. Remember, I called it BBOT sudo. Completely forgot about that. And here we go. Let's do this. While this is cranking up, and look, it's already saying like API key none set, which if I had, I'm sure I probably would have like a ton of results. But trust me, this scan takes like 30 minutes on this domain because of how many results we pull. All right, I'm going to hit enter. And here we go. We're starting off, and it's going to blow our window up with a whole bunch of stuff that it's finding. But I am not going to be able to read all this. I'm not that fast of a reader. So let's go over to our Neo4j. And the port that we are going to be using is 7474, and the IP address is going to be that one of your host machine. So in our instance, this is 192.168.0.232, port 7474. All right, so we're going to go to new tab, 192.168.0.232, colon 7474. All right, so now I want to run one of the queries that the example one that the BBOT gave us. So let's go back over to our BBOT documentation guide. I'm going to go over to our output, and it was all the way at the bottom. All right, so this one says get all in scope DNS nodes and return just the data and tags. All right, so if I copy this, hit that button there too, and I head back over to Neo and I paste it up here, and then I can hit the little run, the little play button right there. And there we go. It's listing all of the things, all the DNS nodes. And so we can look down here. We can say, okay, this is a subdomain. There's subdomains here. So they have a bunch of subdomains. And that's probably why they pay out so well when it comes to bug bounties. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. You do also have a bunch of these options over here, different nodes, so different ASNs. So it'll present it to you in this nice, cool little graphic form. And I believe all of these are clickable and also draggable, but they're all kind of named the same. So it's going to take a little bit of learning to kind of really wrap your head around this entire platform. But like I said, there is a ton of resources out there for it, and ChatGPT is a thing. Next, just do the next one. Get a count of the labels, BBOT and events news. Okay, let's do this. Let's run that one. Boom. Oh, cool. So this kind of gives us a summary, and you can get the same information from a CSV file if you really want. But I think this is cool. This is a little bit more interactive and neat. So this one found 141 ASNs, 3 email addresses, which is pretty impressive. 606 open ports. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, are these clickable? No, they are not. But I'm sure that's probably why you need to learn a little bit of this query language. Get a graph of open ports. Holy Toledo. All right. That is crazy. So yeah, these are all the different ports that you found open. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Oh, they're moving. That's creepy. Shodan, that's neat. So it uses Shodan for some of those. It's pretty wild. All right, and lastly, let's see, get all domains and IP addresses with open ports. So, I mean, they do a lot of the work for you as far as the ones that you may find the most commonly used. Well, there we go. See, that's easy to read. Dude, check it out. So we got subdomains and the ports that it has found to be open. So that's pretty cool. So if we wanted to go to accounts.tesla.com, we would know that that port has 80 and 443 open. So yeah, you can see how this could be extremely helpful. Like And keep in mind, we are only doing the subdomain enumeration. Like, imagine if I turn this thing loose and tried to, spider some sites or find email addresses. There's a lot that can happen with this, and there's a whole lot more different outputs that you can put as well. So if you're not comfortable with using a platform like Neo4j, or it's just too much trouble, just do a CSV. It's just as easy. JSON is also good. All right, well, I think that is where I'm going to wrap up this video. I know this wasn't super long, but I wanted just to introduce you to this and kind of get you to experiment with it. And especially if you're doing bug bounties, I would love to hear how, if this has helped, improve your results or give you more things to look at. If not, if you're doing red team or blue team or pretty much anything, I think this is extremely valuable program. Definitely worth you guys checking out. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer. But then again, there's so much here that I'm sure you're going to find things in this software that I haven't even stumbled across. They have a great documentation. Take advantage of it. All right, well, I appreciate you guys spending some time with me, and hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.